Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jaycee. I'm a full-time scientist, part-time content creator, and card maker. I switched the settings on my microphone. Hopefully I'm a little bit clearer. But before I keep going, I just want to see somebody confirm in the chat that you can get my audio, please. Good to see everybody back here again. I've got some fellow Coloradoans today. And so many of you who join regularly. So Leanne, I'm glad you messaged me. And Zainab, it's good to see you again. And so many of you on the West Coast. Thank you. Thank you for confirming. So let's see. Today, if you couldn't tell by the thumbnail, I'm showcasing some items from the Altinu release that just released yesterday. So it's the Altinu November 2025 release. And it's a really exciting one, honestly. Like, I was really surprised about the coordination of some of the products that are in the set. And also, there's a lot of great inks to showcase. I always like when Altinu comes out with new ink families to play with, and it's just nice to grow the growing Altinu collection. So let me just see, taking a look at the chat here. Woodland Park, oh my goodness. I'm over in North Denver, so it's daylight savings time. I'm like, wow, it feels like I'm going live at 9 p.m. At least for me, like I feel like I'm ready to go to bed, but I try to keep it exciting today, especially with the items that we've got going on today. I don't really have a lot of housekeeping things, like a little free banners going on for this live, but I do know that right now there is a current promotion for free shipping. And I think it's until Friday, but there's no code needed over orders of maybe $29, and I think there's like some sort of discount for international shipping. I know I saw it on the scrolling banner on the Altinu website, so I just want to make sure that you all are still getting something out of the stream today, aside from the inspiration that I'll show you in today's cards. And I feel like you all are kind of helping me out with this live stream today, because the Altinu blog hop is on Friday, and I have made 0 projects for it. I just didn't have the time. I've been working on other assets, like Concord and Ninth announced the winter retreat, so I'm one of the instructors, one of the cabin counselors on that one, so hopefully I'll see you all there. Pink Fresh also announced their Create and Connect for February. It's like mid to late February for their creative passport, so I'm also joining really excellent people there as well. And what else am I allowed to announce? The stamp wheel class also has been announced. That's a live for January 18th. I'll be there with Tasneem and the wonderful Miriam, so both of them are just absolutely amazing. So yeah, those are just a lot of the things I've been working on that I have just unfortunately delayed on the products for the November release. So that's what I've got going on. So let me just look at my feed over on the side real quick, make sure the quality looks good. Okay, looks okay, and then the audio's fine, and it's not too loud, right? I just feel like I'm yelling, because I'm the only one in the house right now, so I'm just like talking to myself. It just feels really loud. But yeah, I did switch up some settings on my software that I use to stream. I just want to make sure that you all can also, number one, hear me, but I'm going to switch between different modes, so hopefully the audio translates between all of those. Okay, I am going to be busy. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Miss Dana. I am. It's, I'm grateful that I am, and then yes, Kathy, I do have my full-time job. So I mean, I'm grateful to do it all. My partner really helps me out. He takes care of everything else so that I can do what I do here online for you all, because I enjoy it. And yeah, okay. Should we get to it? Cards. Let's make a card. So let's bring out Climbing Clematis. So this is the Build a Garden this month for November 2025. And if you don't know about the Altinu Build a Garden subscription, it's a monthly subscription in which it guarantees your stock of a wonderful flower-themed set, right? So this time it's a Clematis. Clematis. I say Clematis. Okay. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Miss Dana. So busy. But I've got Climbing Clematis here. It is the die set, the layering stencil, and the stamp set as well. This time the die set is included. Sometimes I know it's been an add-on option. I think the last two have been included, so I hope they continue on this path of like a smaller stamp set, but you get to have the die set included. But I don't know, I can just throw that in the universe. I just like being able to die cut the florals in this one. And aside from this, I did want to bring in the new Altenew ink colors as well. So we've got 3 new ink families. This is 4 colors for Earth Tones, 4 colors for Moonlit Twilight, and 4 colors for Sage Gardens. So right now I just have the lightest value shown on top, and then I'll work through all of these colors. And like I said, I'm doing this for the blog hop that's on Friday as well. So I had a plan, but you're also just going to experiment. You're going to experience the walkthrough of this card as well, because I haven't made anything yet. I haven't made anything. All right, and let me move these off to the side real quick. And I did do a little bit of prep work beforehand. So I did stamp 2 of the images of the Clematis onto white cardstock, and I used Umber Shadow, the darkest brown ink that's in earth tones. And what I love about earth tones in comparison to like the other browns that are in the Altenew set is like this one's a little bit cooler, in my opinion. I think this would be a great like sort of neutral cardstock. If you like, I like Nino Desert Storm. That's just like a perfect craft cardstock color for me. Not too dark, not too light. It shows up really wonderfully with like cloud white pigment ink. But anyway, that's sort of what this ink family reminds me of. So I stamped 2 of these images because I do plan on really filling a card front today. And then I used the coordinating die set to also cut out the thinking of you sentiment, which is the sentiment down here. I also stamped that in Umber Shadow. It's gonna get you know, there's so many colors. I gotta get used to them, right? I'm glad you're drinking your water. You know, so Miss Dana and I, we were over at Concord and Ninth together, and this is where I found out about these Awala water bottles. They're the best. I mean, I feel like we all go through phases of like, you know, the Yeti and then the Stanley, but this is, I've been holding on to this one. This is like my live stream water bottle, but I'm glad we're staying hydrated, Miss Dana. So, and yes, I did try to coordinate the shirt to the ink colors. So, okay, sticky matte grid over here. Bring this in. And you know, those of you who tuned into my live stream when it was warmer, I was hot, and now it's cold, and now I'm cold. So it's like I can't win in the studio, you know? Question, how do these compare to Delectable Delights? Let me pause, Carrie. Let me just bring out my swatch book. I think I have earth tones swatched in here. So I hope I can show both of these at the same time. Okay, let me just remove it from my binder real quick. You said Delectable Delights, right? Okay, yes. Just don't want it to throw the focus out too far. So this is what it looks like right now. So Delectable Delights is very warm, like that true cream color. Shattered Shell is like that really nice, cooler, craft cardstock feeling to me. So this is earth tones here on this side. In the replay, feel free to pause this so that you can get a closer look between these two colors. But this is what I have for Delectable Delights and earth tones for the browns. Let me just pull out the other ones real quick. These are the other brown ink families that I have for the Altenew stash. Gosh, I really hope all of these are out, right? Yeah, these are all out. Okay. So Dessert Dreams, Coffee Break, and then here's Earth Tones. So good mix. I guess it's kind of close to Coffee Break, but there's something about Umber Shadow that's like a little bit colder. that of course I really like. These are, I think these would be, aside from being earth tones, I think these are also good skin tones. Maybe mixed in with a little bit of warmth, like something like blush or purple, to make it look real, a little bit more realistic. So I just don't want to miss anything. Yeah, thank you for throwing up question beforehand. I know that's pretty standard with a lot of crafters who go live. So I do try to watch out for that as well. I apologize if I miss anything. I did switch up the location of where my chat is, so I'm not looking down to the side. So I am able to look up and see it now. On here, okay. So yeah, that was earth tones in the swatch. Thank you for asking about that. And like I mentioned, I've stamped both of these outlines in umber shadow, and then we'll start coloring. Again, I didn't plan. So we're just gonna kind of go with it. We're gonna learn something together on this one. I do know, like, I kind of did a quick draft of the arrangement, so I might not be inking both of these images up. But I'm starting, of course, with the #1 layer, and the #1 layer is going to color in the more solid layers of this image. It looks like I might need a little bit of satin masking tape to mask off some areas. As they're kind of close, you know, you don't want to muddy up the colors on this one. So I'll use Moonlit Twilight to start coloring these images. And this one, since you asked about the earth tones, let's try to compare this one to something else in the blue purple set. So here's Moonlit Garden, Enchanted Garden. I'll bring that up just a little closer for comparison. So it is more on the blue side of purple, more blue of blue violet. And then, yeah, that's like a true purple. Soft lilac, lavender fields, deep iris, moonlight violet, that's from shades of purple. Yeah, and then sugar plums is more of that like a pink violet. So I try to keep it in this family up here. So it's nice to see that this one got built on a little bit more for that. So I'll grab my blue violet ink. Start off with my lightest ink color. This is going to be Celestial Mist. And while I was very productive today at my full-time job, I did look up pictures of Clematis. I have seen them at the garden centers, but I think they're like a part shade plant, and my backyard is full sun. So I can't, they would just fry in the summer here in Colorado. And I think they're a little bit of a cooler season flower. Again, I just don't have any shade, so I just can't with the Clematis. And I don't really have a place for them to climb. Anybody in the chat, do you have Clematis? I've seen a lot of beautiful fuchsia varieties at the garden centers with a striking white vein in the center. Thought those were gorgeous. I've also seen this mix, right, of colors for Clematis, so maybe one day, you know, when I live in a newer neighborhood, so everybody's trees aren't full grown, so maybe as people's yards, you know, fill up a little bit more, there'll be more shade over in my side of the garden. So maybe then I can add in some Clematis. Okay, so that's Celestial Mist. Let me just add a little bit of Glacier Iris. So, fun fact, well, I don't know if it's really fun because I was kind of traumatized by it. There was a recent perfect pairing where I shot pictures of whatever I was using at that moment. And I had these inks maybe about 2 or 3 months ago. And then I put these pictures in the thumbnail, and then I didn't realize it until maybe a month later. And I was like, oh my gosh, these inks are not out yet. Jaycee, you need to stop doing this. I don't know what it is. It's like me and revealing ink colors before they are released with Altenew, so my bad. they do need to. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, I wish maybe one day. What is this? Glacier Iris. Oh, sorry everyone. Glacier Iris. I'm just adding a little bit of depth to the tips of the petals. In my reference images, I was seeing like a little bit of like a darker petal tip and then a brighter center. So that's what I'm trying to replicate. Now we know where to find the sneak peeks. That's right. Yeah, it never fails. Ink pads especially, I have accidentally revealed. That was twice. Now I've done that. So actually, before I remove that one, let me just shift this over. We're gonna go do a little bit of back and forth with this stencil on my sticky mat grid, and of course I've got everything linked in the description box. And I'll color this other image. So I do know I want to fill in this image completely, and then I'll do a partial one of this one. We'll see if it works. I planned it to work. Hopefully it works. They definitely climb. I used to have one in my front yard that got afternoon sun. Right, yeah. But there was also a huge oak tree to shade them a bit. Yeah. I hear that clematis are also really prolific climbers too. Like they'll really climb through and push through foliage to get beautiful blooms. And anytime I've seen reference images of clematis, they just so many blooms, and they're so pretty. Maybe I'll try to incorporate them in the front yard this year. So my backyard straight up faces south, so I get full sun, great for solar. But my front yard, and then of course I live in Denver, so then my front yard, the garage is in the front. So then, you know, they always say like, you always want to look for a south facing house in Denver because you don't have to, the snow will melt your driveway. But my priorities were flowers. I said flowers or snow. You know, I think we enjoy flowers much more through the year than we do snow. So I'm okay with shoveling. This is my point. I'm okay with shoveling. Well, thank you for still tuning in. Yeah. It's always good to see you all join me in the chat, so I'm not just like talking to myself in my house. And I appreciate those of you who join in the replay and let me know. So flowers, always flowers, Miss Dana. Just a little bit of Celestial Mist, Glacier Iris. Again, sort of replicating the other bloom that I have on the other stencil. And again, as usual, I hope to finish this within an hour and a half. So that will finish about 9 o'clock my time, which is Mountain Standard Time now. Standard. Okay. On the same stencil is the base layer to these remaining two flowers, and it looks like some open images for the leaves. Get this aligned. There it is. Glacier Iris again. Wow, my ink pads really want to stick to my sticky mat grid. Same deal. Oh, let me cover off this part. Ooh, excuse me. Oop, that was the wrong color, wasn't it? It's okay. We'll just keep going. This is Altenew satin masking tape. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. Just to cover up some of these open areas on here where I don't want to apply ink yet. We'll just say that this flower is a little bit more mature, so it'll be slightly deeper than the younger flowers. So I'll use Glacier Iris on this one. and then we'll see what happens. I just turned off the sprinklers over on my side. So everything is really starting to go to sleep now. I have some like marigolds that still want to push through, but the cosmos just done. Hi Geraldine, thank you for joining me. It'll be a happy accident, yeah, oops. We'll see what happens, Penny. Add a little bit of that celestial mix, or mist, just to mix in and push towards the center. And then let me pull this one off and do this more side-facing flower here. Use celestial mist on this one. And every time Altenew comes out with the fresh dye ink color sets, it's like, no, that's my favorite. And then, oh no, that's my favorite. You know, so it's hard to say every time. I really like the cooler purples. I like the blue, more blue shift in this blue violet set. I think, and wasn't it 2024? It was like some sort of periwinkle that they listed as the Pantone color. So it's perfect, dreamy periwinkle. And of course, you know, Pantone, they always put out inspiration color palettes for their new, their color announcements. So it was nice to see inspiration using dreamy periwinkle, because it's a hard one for me, at least. Do we like that? Okay, I think I like that. So let me set these off a little bit to the side. Well, I need to color this one. Let me just do it just in case. That's what I always think, Kathy. I'm like, what other, like, as I look at the, I have the carousels over to my left on some shelves, and I'm just like, am I really missing any color family holes in the ink sets? And the answer is always yes. Somehow Altenew is able to fill in these spaces in the color spectrum that I didn't realize I was missing. And then like the cool browns, for example, in earth tones, I'm like, oh yeah, I've been looking for that, right? And then they finally have it. So yes, brand new for November. I'm glad I have them. I do have them linked in the description box, and I'll show you how they work in this card. So okay, celestial mist maybe? Yeah, let's do this one. Like I mentioned, I won't color this whole image, just what I think will show up on my arrangement. Oops, Glacier Iris. I feel like I have to say the color out loud to myself so I can, you know, identify it much better. Okay. Switch it over to the image I know I will fully color. And I think there are 4 stencils in this set. Yeah. 4 stencils, but they're broken up into ways that, you know, for detail layers and such, and so that you're coloring almost each individual leaf. And there's also some really interesting illustration on the leaf when I was looking at the reference images in the stamp, or in the packaging for the stamp set. So, okay, move these over. Let me bring in Sage Garden. So we've got Silver Sprout, Sage Stone, which was previously released with, I think it was a promo ink color last year in 2024. And then Sage Stone was also, I used it in the Cozy Comfort Retreat in 2024. Silver Sprout, Sage Stone, Olive Grove, brand new color. And then Mossy Granite was another promotional ink color. So I think you had to make like a purchase of a certain amount, and then you got the mini ink version of this for free. And maybe there were some enamel dots with this one as well. So yeah, great bundle. I'm glad to see that they've incorporated, Altenew has incorporated it into its own ink family. So I'll use this for my foliage. And I'll start with Silver Sprout. Oh, let me show you my swatch book. Since we did it for the other ones, let me look in my, did I put it with the yellow greens? No, I did not. So it's in blue, green, possibly. I always think I know how I organized my inks, and then, oh, there it is, Sage Garden. So Silver Sprout, Sage Stone, Olive Grove, Mossy Granite. So that's what that looks like. Which ink family was it? Pistachio, Misty Moore. Oh, I think it's Frayed Leaf. Where did I put that one? I was looking for like that cooler, oh, here it is, Jade Dreams. I really thought like this was going to be it for me for that like perfect peony color palette, right? That cooler yellow, Misty Sage I thought was a perfect sort of gray green, but then Sage Garden came out and then that changed everything for me. So we'll see how this layers on this Clematis. I'm really excited to see how that goes. Let's put Silver Sprout down, just fully saturate this layer. And one thing I'll say is I received a comment a while ago about ink blending on top of other dye ink colors. I did let these outlines dry back quite a lot. Like I stamped these right when I got home from work, which was around 5 o'clock. And so they've been drying for about 2.5 hours before I started ink blending on them. So they don't really move for me. So that's just a quick little tip for you if you're ink blending on top of outlines. Okay, I won't need to do this one. Hopefully we won't see it. All right. So that was stencil layer number 1. It had the base layer for the 3 open Clematis images and 2 of the leaves. And now stencil layer number 2. I like that they preserved the that really strong vein that's in the center of the petals that I find really pleasant about Clematis and really characteristic. And in my research, when I was very productive at work, is I didn't know that Clematis is in the same family as Ranunculus, so Buttercup, the Buttercup family. Ooh, let me scroll up a little bit on the chat. Oh, I missed quite a few things, I think. So all I did was align stencil layer number 2, by the way, as I did this. I love hearing about your flower stories and what's in your garden. It's you know, it's colder here in the northern hemisphere. So a lot of things for us are going to sleep now. What is the meaning? I don't really share the meaning of my pinky tattoo. It's just 5 lines that I have on my pinky. It's just something that I keep to myself, but I appreciate you asking and noticing. 5 petals, yep. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for all your questions, everyone. Yeah, I do try to make sure I change again, I changed the location of the chat, so I'm able to see it much clearer than I used to. So yeah, okay, Sage Stone. Let's do that next. Sage Stone, also in Sage Garden. Another mini ink blending tool. Ooh, okay. On top of the silver sprout, liking that. Ooh, okay. Okay, Sage Stone. Thank you, Sharon. Is the detail in the stencil attached or floating? I find blending over them. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, so there are some veining details that are sort of floating on this one. I just hold it. That's just me. Or I do directional strokes. Let me just show you real quick. And because of the way I'm ink blending on this, I'm not getting a lot of movement as I ink blend onto these images. This one, they're connected, but this one, they are floating off a little bit. Sage Stone is coming through, Miss Dana. It's coming through. I love it. I hope we get to use the other greens. Yeah, we should be able to. Okay. Oh, wow, Jaycee almost forgot about the Clematis. So, let's bring in, we did Glacier Iris. Let's bring in Dreamy Periwinkle on this one. Let me put away my other ink blending tools real quick. I'll grab the wrong one again. Like here, Linda, the veining details on the Clematis petals, they do float off a little bit, but I am just holding down that piece so that it doesn't move on me. And it just works with the way I'm blending. Are you all able to see that? My bad. Dreamy Periwinkle. This petal right here seems to be like a base layer of something. So I'll bring back Celestial Mist, color in that image. This is the lightest ink in Moonlit Garden. Moonlit Twilight. We were talking so much about Garden, I forgot. I received, oh, so you joined us in the Cozy Comfort. It was me, Jennifer, so many other people. I'm going to forget, I'm really sorry. But yeah, it was a beautiful color. There were other colors in that set that were exclusive at the time. So, glad you were able to join us. So on top of that Celestial Mist, just like the other colors, I'm applying Glacier Iris. Just to get that nice little blend there. Okay. Let me fill in the detail layer to this image on the right. Ooh. Kathy, Amy, and Carissa. That's right, Amy Rice-Evie was there. And Carissa Wiley, Kathy Zilski. She made a beautiful card. They all, honestly, they all made beautiful cards. So that was my first Cozy Comfort. You know, usually I do the Secret Garden, so I'm quite biased. I love the Secret Garden, of course. But Cozy Comfort, it was an interesting one because, you know, it wasn't so much about florals. Oh, some of those items came out in this release. It was pistachio. Oh my gosh, I have them. I forgot the other names. They're the like walnuts or pistachio, and then apricot, possibly. Oh, thank you, Carrie, for reminding me. Yes, so there's four then. There is Winter Retreat, and then I've got the Stamp Wheel Class 2.0, Pink Fresh in February, and then OCC. OCC starts next week. Poor Christina. I know she's really sick. So hopefully, she'll chime in when she can in forums and such. Thank you, Geraldine. Yes, it was hazelnut. What was I saying? Apricot? My bad. Yeah, there were other items from that retreat that also released. So if you missed out, you can get those products now. Will you be doing a video using the new peony? Maybe. Maybe I will. You might see that on the Altenew channel. Hint, hint. What is that? Is it the second Sunday already? Where's my phone? Maybe you'll see a video on the 9th. But you didn't hear that from me, so just letting you know. Make sure you tune in. The peony is fabulous. I love the peony, honestly. And my dynamic duo partner, Miss Bridget, she loves peonies. So of course, when I saw this, I immediately thought about her. Is this the new Periwinkle inks? Yes, Amy, this is Moonlit, Twilight is the family. So I've got Celestial Mist, and this is in order from lightest to darkest value. Glacier Iris, Dreamy Periwinkle, Twilight Sky. So I'm just kind of coloring what feels good right now. You all are kind of helping me out because my blog post is supposed to be due on Friday. I have made 0 projects. So I figured, well, let's go live so I can show you all the new ink colors and so I can play with the new ink colors and the new stamp sets. I did already make a card for Craft a Flower, Coral Charm, Peony. I'm surprised it's not sold out yet. Because maybe because I'm biased, I love it. So why wouldn't everybody want it, right? First OCC, looking forward to it. Hey, we had a good time last year. I was part of OCC last year. And the concept with OCC, online card classes, that's the platform that Jennifer McGuire and Christina Werner host, is you're supposed to be able to make 4 cards or make multiples of 1 card. So I won't divulge too much of what I did, of course, because it's proprietary for them, but it's a great time. And I made much more than 4 cards. So, yeah, I have so many cards that I made from that class. Okay, great questions, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for asking, because then I'm just talking to the air. I'm talking to my cats who are hopefully not making too much noise and can pick up the audio. Okay, what's next? So that was stencil layer number 2. It had the detail layer to the Clematis and some of the leaf layers. It looks like we have some flower centers now on this image. So let me get this lined up. And on stencil layer number 3, part of the stencil will be used for other parts of this image. I'm sorry, my camera has been doing that. Hopefully now it stops doing that in and out deal. Okay, it won't. Gotta fix that for next time. Anyway, okay. Let's finish up the Clematis images. So we did a little bit of Dreamy Periwinkle. Let me pull in a Twilight Sky. Deepen some of these layers on here. Ooh, okay. A little bit there. I do still want to preserve that highlight in the center. Did I position that right? Let me try again. At least that's now... Ooh, that's so nice. Did I get it this time? There you go. That looks better. Okay. Ooh. let's finish up these images. So we did sage stone, silver sprout. Maybe we'll bring in more of these deeper greens. So this is olive grove that I'm pulling in now. And let's deepen this leaf. And also use it for the detail area of this bottommost leaf, like that. Okay. And now with these open images, I'll bring in earth tones. So this is shattered shell. Bring in a base of the centers, just like that. Ooh, sorry, I missed so many on the chat. I'm glad you're joining again for OCC. Oh yeah, totally. And we are using in OCC, at least I try to incorporate other items that you could use in replacement for the online card classes kit that was available at Concord and Ninth. So yeah, the class itself is of great value. I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's either, I think it's $20 for the class itself. But yeah, let Sharon know if you did use your own supplies. Of course, I used the kit because it was sent to us. You know, thank you to Christina and then for sending the kit to us. But there were other ways, and I think I saw somebody mention the Simon Hurley collection. Yeah, Carrie, I also have the Simon Hurley Snow Globes collection. You know, there are many ways that you can interpret that and use the techniques that I teach in class for OCC. So yeah, there is a Snow Globe set from Christina Werner, but if you have the Spellbinders one from Simon Hurley, or the Simon Hurley from Spellbinders one, that'll work as well, because these are all different concepts that we'll be teaching. How hard do you think I can't speak for the other instructors, Amy, but I know for me, I really did suggest other alternatives and other ways that you could use the products that you have, even if you couldn't pick up the cardstock colors. I know the cardstock colors were out of stock for a little bit, but there are many replacements. It's much more about the technique than it is about the products that we use, but we did showcase the kit specifically if you're able to pick it up. I went to their website real quick. I don't know if it's in stock anymore. So, but yeah, that's a good question. We were not necessarily instructed to, but it felt necessary to suggest other alternatives that you could use for OCC. So yeah, good question, and hope to see you there if you do decide to join. Again, the class is really affordable, I think, and you get lessons from never mind me, but like all the other great people that are also teaching. So okay. Oh, look at me, I didn't even color this image. How long has it been? 45 minutes. I'm just so grateful that you all join me week after week, and if you're new to my channel or to my platform, I appreciate you joining as well, because I've been experimenting with going live much more often. I do miss the interactivity with going live. I used to teach pretty infrequently, but it was always fun to do all of the follow-up sessions and just interact with attendees. And I have all these projects that I make off camera, and then, you know, folks ask, how do you make that? And I feel like going live just requires so much less prep work, truthfully, you know, because I don't have to voice over, I don't have to you know, script write. For those of you who, you know, who make the content, it's hard, but I really need to go live every week. I have planned, so on my channel, I don't know, can you all let me know in the chat, for those of you who are here, how did you know I was going to go live today? Because I only mentioned it on Instagram. I'm not really active on Facebook, so you'll find me on there, but I don't go on it. And then I did experiment with YouTube posting. So that was one of the other ways I announced that I was going live. I just wanted to see if you all saw that, or if you clicked the notify me button when I put that post up, or when you saw my thumbnail come through on my channel. I really just want to know, because I just don't know the best way to announce these live sessions, except for just going live, right? So yeah, and thank you, Michael. Yeah, of course, interacting with the channel, liking, subscribing, commenting, your chats also really helps. So, got a YouTube notification when I went live. Is that the notification that you got, or okay, yeah. See, yeah, Leanne, I saw you on Instagram. I appreciate that. That's awesome. Okay, Susan, and you got the notify me. Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you, thank you. This is all really helpful, because yeah, I don't know. I try to watch the metrics, all of that, but I'm I'm at a loss with all that stuff. So anyway, thank you. Let's see. So we've got some leaf images on here. Let's use Olive Grove again on these ones. Get a really deep green. And then we'll use warm linen on this one for the centers. See, like, now you all get to see the chaos that comes in, right, from using a product for the first time. This is really the thought process, is like, well, this looks good here, and then I like this here. Let's add that there. Cute. Okay. That was these two half images on stencil layer number 3. So this had a detail layer for the flower and also part of the center. And then this was more of the detail layers to the leaves and the centers. I typically, by the way, for those of you who are new, I typically go live on Wednesday at about this time. So 7:30 Mountain Time, Standard Time, Daylight Time, 7:30. But I do plan on going live next week with the thumbnail. I'm sure you saw that it was a Concord and Ninth video that I plan on doing and showcasing. I'm really excited about that one. And then on the 19th, I don't have this live scheduled, but I got Christina Werner's collection sent to me for this month. I don't know if it's, I think you can see previews of it on the Concord and Ninth website, but there are just some fun items in there that I thought I'd try out. And it's mostly stenciling, you know, and it's with Christina's products, it's just like, you know, Altenews products. I like it because you get to do a little bit of thinking, a little bit of realism. But sometimes I just want to, you know, I just want to blend the pretty ink colors, right? And use the pretty ink blending brushes. So that's really what I like about Christina's collection, is and it's all holiday themed, I think. Yeah, it's some of it's holiday themed. I think there are preview thumbnails on the Concord and Ninth website. So, okay. Stencil layer number 3. Let's move on to number 4. And fill in these images. So I'll take Mossy Granite again. Or let me take Olive Grove and do this one first. Fill in these interesting vein details on here. I'll leave a stark white highlight on that leaf. And then it looks like, oh, that's so interesting. It's like very, the variegation is really strong on these leaves. It will release in a few days on the 9th. Let me go back a little bit. Yeah, Concord and 9th always, I shouldn't say usually, they always release on the 9th. So, it's exciting. We'll see that one soon. We've gotten a lot of previews on Instagram. Yeah, I'm really excited to go live with one of the products on there. I did ask them for it. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, please, I'll go live if I get it, um, and showcase it because I'm so excited. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to give away too much. You'll see it on the thumbnail. I hear that actually, Catherine. That this is a good time in Australia. I think it's noon or 11 for you all. The disadvantage for me, right, is that a lot of the people on the East Coast, it's now 10 p.m. for them, so I don't get a lot of East Coast people. I get Miss Dana every once in a while because she's in Florida, but for me, that is too late for me. 10 p.m. I wish I could catch more of the lives, or especially the lives that happen during the day, like Carissa. She goes live at 1 p.m. her time, but I'm at work when most of the folks go live. Gina K, Jennifer, of course. I miss all of those lives. Kathy, I miss Kathy's lives in the moment because they're just during that time. That is so pretty. Okay, looks like there's one more image, which is this one. What do I want to use? Let's go with Olive Grove. Just a touch of this, maybe here and there. Good enough. So cute. Oh, I appreciate you staying up, Sharon, because it's 10:22. It is time for bed for me. Is there a video? Heather, I don't have a video yet of the swatch booklet. I know I get asked that quite a lot. I just want to make sure when this video comes out for the swatch booklet, and I did design the whole thing myself. So this is not an all-to-new product. I used Adobe Illustrator to design the inserts. I used my Cricut to cut it out so that it fits in this little binder. And I have two of these because otherwise it's too thick to fit both of these, all the color swatches. And this is everything so far, I'm pretty sure. Unless there was a class exclusive kit like the Sage Stone that was previously released, you know, so it was out in a kit but not in a set yet. Where was I going with this? Oh, but it's so it doesn't fit in the binder. I just want to make sure that this class or this live or whatever format that I use for using the swatch books is like perfect. I have a vision in my head of how I want it to look, but I just haven't been able to manifest it yet because I'm still working through other projects. I saw the little binders at Michael's. Yeah, I got mine from Amazon, but what size is this? 4.25 by 5.5. How ironic. 4.25 by 5.5. So they're A2 sized. But they're just these clear binders with the 6 holes, and I use my Cricut to cut out the holes and also the inserts. And I use Illustrator to do this. Anytime there's a new ink set, I design out an Illustrator before importing it into my Cricut. So it is quite a tedious process, which is why I don't give it away, unfortunately. Manufacturer swatch. I know, will just keep throwing that in the universe, Kathy, that swatch book one day. I know they have freebies, printable freebies on their website, so you can print it on your favorite white cardstock. I use Nina Solar White. If you use the Hammermill cardstock, you can print on that as well and swatch on there. But yeah, I've been waiting for a book. Wouldn't that be nice? Alternate, wouldn't that be nice? A little book. Sadly, we didn't use all the ink colors in Earth Tones. That's okay. I'm sure I'll be using it in many different projects. But for now, where are we at? So we're almost at an hour. Should take us about 30 minutes to assemble this. So I appreciate you all tuning in. I can't sell the files because they, what is it? There's something about the file that doesn't, it doesn't translate well when it goes into Cricut. The way I have designed it is what I mean. If that makes sense. Because I print it and then, you know, the print and cut feature, I do it in the opposite order. So in my mind, that makes sense as to why it's not very user friendly. like it's friendly to me because I know how I designed it, right? But I wish other companies, and I know a lot of people offer the um, what is it, the coin type swatching kits that fit in the 2x2 coin slots. You know, those, I hear those work really great for people. It just I experimented with different swatching mechanisms, and it just wasn't doing it for me, unfortunately, for just like how I like to color match. So yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I know, and that video, like I want it to be perfect if I'm going to share it, and I just I have the concept, I just haven't quite been there yet. It is a bit Jaycee centric. That's a good one. uh, that needs to be like on a stamp or a water bottle. Alrighty. Thank you for your questions. Again, seriously, I really appreciate you. And there's 56 of you tuning in. I'm so nervous. Okay, so I planned for an arrangement something like this. Yeah, okay, let me get a white piece of cardstock. Actually, before I do that, before I start arranging, let me stack my sentiment. So I just cut from the offcuts of the die image for Climbing Clematis. I just stamped the Thinking of You sentiment that's in the set, and then used the coordinating die set to cut out the offset element. Somebody asked in my previous live, I think, or maybe the live that I did with Altenew for the stamp wheel, what liquid glue I use, and it's the Tombow Mono liquid adhesive. I just have it in a needle-tipped bottle. I saw many of you aliquot or pour off your glue into these types of bottles, and I don't know where I've been. I should have done it a long time ago. Because I was really missing out. Oh, that's true, Heather. Yeah, I also have the waffle flower, like, keyring type of swatching. Oh, yeah, okay. I was like, wait, do we have all these cardstock colors? So you can certainly like use this as your template, as the die, and then still incorporate it into some type of keyring. Great for cardstocks. But and then I cut apart like a solid stamp. That's how I got that line image on my swatch book. I had to get a little creative, so with the way that I did that swatch book, like I mentioned, because it made sense in my brain as far as like how I use the swatch book. Okay, there we go. There's my white cardstock color, or white cardstock cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I wanted, true to Climbing Clematis, or Clematis in general, I wanted this like this. I wanted this motion on my card front. So do I want to use, I'll use the thicker one. This is the thicker 1/2 inch instant dimension foam tape. Not 1/2 inch thick, sorry. That is way really thick. This is the 1/8 inch thick instant dimension foam tape, 1/2 inch wide is what I meant. I've only ever really, so I tried the Barely Arts one. I talked to my friends at Concord and Ninth when we did summer camp. I was just really applying too much, and so it just didn't work for me. As well as, like, I know it worked for so many of you, but I am a glue applier. Like, I put way too much glue. So it just didn't work for me. I'd hate to admit it. Like, I tried with the Barely Arts one. I applied way too much of it. It always curled my cardstock is what happened. And it just didn't work. Okay. Let's put that right there. Then we're going to snip this off. Okay, and I planned to put that there. How is this gonna go? How did I do this? I planned it so nicely in my head. I think it just needed to come forward a little bit like that. There we go. Okay, that's what it was. Okay. I was like, shoot, I should have ink blended the whole thing. I forgot, but no, I didn't need to. Yeah, I definitely got some curled cards, Geraldine. I was so sad. I was like, I'm so bad at this barely art, so I gave it away. I gave it away to somebody. I was like, it's not working for me. Maybe it'll work for you. And then I tried it again at the Altenew, or not the Altenew, sorry, the Concord and Ninth studio. I was like, what glue is this? And they were like barely arts, and I was like, dang it. But I have like probably another 16 bottles of the Tombow one. I bought a bulk pack, I think from Michael's, because you know they have that buy in bulk sort of deal. Is that where I wanted it? It's too late now because it's already glued down. This is the thought process. Just rotate it, have a look. Do I like it here? Do I like it here? But then it looks upside down there. Ooh, what about, no. Never mind. And sometimes that happens too. I'm just glad I stamped another one so I can make another card with it. And I just love how perfectly that fits right there. It's still sort of in the center, just shifted down a little bit on the card front. Okay. Neat splatter. Let's do it. Pure white ink spray. Almost done. 8:35, so I appreciate you again. It's been about an hour. I appreciate you joining me. 63 people, what happened? There were so many of you. Pure white ink spray. I love using pure white ink spray with a water brush. There is a little bit of water in this one, but I don't add any to it. And I kind of just go crazy and let it go wherever. Nice thing about pure white too, ink spray, is it's not as opaque as like Dr. P.H. Martin's ink white. So it dries just a little bit transparent, just a little bit. Thank you, everybody. thank you. The thumbs up does help. I appreciate it. And then, of course, if you haven't subscribed, please do. I am going live next week. It is definitely scheduled. Um, I always really hope that I get off work on time so that I can prep if I need to, check my internet connection, check all the assets. Because, y'all, for those of you who have been here with me doing lives since the beginning, which was probably about a few months ago, we had problems before. So bad. Internet connection problems, one. The software that I used to see, I don't even want to say it out loud, but it like crashed on me in the middle of my stream. Almost lost my mind. And then what else has happened? I not just internet quality issues, but I didn't know how to like set up the software so that the stream was pleasant. So I know a lot of you had like really significant lag on your side, and I was like, oh my God, what else? What else is gonna happen during these streams? So I think knock on wood, I think we're a little bit better. So I appreciate you joining despite all of those things. Each week is getting better. Thank you, Leanne. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm trying to invest in better, software, better ways to like look at you and read the chat. So, will you be doing the Weekender again in May 2026? I'll be honest. I didn't get anything. So I will say no. Right now. I don't know if they've announced instructors yet or if instructors have been invited. So for me, no. I have not been invited to the Weekender. It was fun though, the Spellbinders one. Such a fun, and it was interesting. It was different for me. So, and that was also live. I think we had the option right between live and pre-recorded. It was easier to do live for me. So okay, let's get this foam mounted. I think I'll use the thinner one to put this up. Have to cut it a little bit, that's okay. So many Denverites. How did I suddenly attract you all to my stream? Coloradoans. Let me just take a look. Sorry, I just saw a few comments pop up. Thank you. And I'm glad you all love the lives. Again, it's so much easier, right, than pre-recorded content. I just feel like there's so much planning with pre-recorded. And for me, I want a perfect quality, so it's hard to achieve. Very simple on there. Okay. Do we like that? Let's do one little thing. I feel like the outline, because it's that cool brown, we just need to incorporate just a little bit of that warmth a little bit to the panel. Just a little bit up here in the corner. Just enough to barely show. I think it's just nice to add a little bit of warmth to, the sympathy card theme that we've got going on with Thinking of You. And I feel like it really just highlights that movement in the center. I thought about gold splatter. I did pull out my metallic watercolor pen because I thought I was going to do it. But then I don't know, I really like the white ink splatter on this one. Ooh, maybe, how about instead, Barbara? Let's do sequins. I think this one matches best. Sparkling gold, stellar sequins. I did not link this because, you know, impromptu. This is what happens sometimes. When you're trying to do your craft projects before the blog post is due. Let's put some here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we'll just use the perfect picker from Alternate. Actually, I lied. Let me just use my tweezers. Get these glued down. There, feels good. Oh. Yeah, that's right, Geraldine. It's long. You know, sometimes I think there is a time for pre-recorded content. In tutorial like videos, but sometimes like like I mentioned, the interactivity is something you just cannot get from pre-recorded content. So I think it always has its trade-offs, but it does take a long time. And yeah, Heather, I did post a reel on my Instagram over this pillbox container. I got mine from Michael's. It's like they marketed it as a bead organizer because it has 7 in here, but the sequin sizes for Altenew are 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, 8, and something. A number is skipped somewhere in here. But anyway, yeah, this works great for me than the bags. And then I just label it on the front with what color it is. And then I just don't really care about the last one on here. So it works great for me, Heather. I really suggest it. I know a few of my crafting friends, Carissa, she mentioned she uses like nicer bags than the like temporary Altenew ones. So maybe that might work for you as well. Or for those of you out there who are looking for alternatives to this storage. And there we go. It did need a little bit of gold, Barbara, you're right. Let me just get this excess ink off of here so that we can see this nicer. And yeah, that'll finish this really simpler approach to climbing Clematis. I wanted, like Clematis, to have a lot of movement. I wanted it to feel like it was still that climbing sort of structure. But yeah, I think this finishes the card. Let me zoom in just a little bit so we can get that a little bit bigger. Again, this is Climbing Clematis, Build a Garden. I used some new ink colors. Moonlit, Twilight, Earth Tones, and Sage Garden are the new ink colors from Altenew. And they're new for November 2025. I just really like the cooler palette. The greens, I can see myself using this set of greens quite often, especially during the cooler months. But otherwise, yeah, that's all I've got. And a little touch of gold with sparkling gold stellar sequins. So I think that warmth of the gold, it's like not too yellow. I think it really nicely coordinates with earth tones and all of that. So let me just bring it back here for a moment. I am planning on going live again next week. Again, using some Concord and Ninth colors. It's not a sponsored live that Concord and Ninth is asking me to do. However, I did ask for the product, so they kindly sent it over for me to me. I can't wait to use it and show you what I plan on making with that. And what are some other things I wanted to announce for those of you who caught the tail end? Yeah, I have been working on other projects. So Concord and Ninth announced Winter Retreat. So I'm one of the cabin counselors on that with my good friend Miss Laura Basson and Christina Werner, Jennifer McGuire, and Greg. They're gonna co-host. So it'll be a good time to see them. And I haven't been to Utah in the winter, so that'll be a fun one. And it's a short flight, you know, just right over the Rocky Mountains, and I'm in Salt Lake. So that's one, Concord and Ninth Winter Retreat. And then I've got Pink Fresh has recently opened their registration for Create and Connect, the Creative Passport. So I've already turned in some assets for them. So I'm really excited for you all to see that one. That one's also a live format. I hear there's many different cards that you get to make. And what was I going to say about this one specifically? There was something else about creating. Oh, it's my first one. That's what I meant to say. So it's my first time with Pink Fresh Studio doing it live. So I'm excited for that opportunity. Concord Pink Fresh Stamp Wheel 2.0. That's in January 18th. That's a live session that I'm doing with Tasneem and Miriam. So great people over at Altenew. I'm glad that I'll be able to teach with them, and I helped design one of the products on there. So that was my previous live with Bridget on the Altenew channel, so I have it uploaded on mine as well. If you want to catch the replay on that, I did showcase some other products that were in that kit. And then there were 4 things I meant to announce. Oh, online card classes, that starts next week. So again, we were talking in the chat about needing the kit. The kit is what we used in class, but a lot of us suggested alternatives. It's just it's of course going to be easier to reference if you have the kit. It's available at Concord and Ninth. However, you know, the whole point of the class is to showcase some techniques. And if you find anything you like, they have the supply list over in online card classes. So anyway, those are the 4 things that I've got going on right now. So let's see, we were at 1 hour and about 20 minutes. I, again, really appreciate you joining me today. I think at most there were about 60 people, and I just greatly appreciate it. Give this a thumbs up, like many of you said in the chat. I really appreciate the support that you're giving me. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit the notify me button for the live next week. And then fingers crossed, let's go live on the 19th, that following Wednesday. Oh, and then I forgot to mention this. I do have a planned Altenew live at the last Wednesday of this month. So I've already planned it. Been talking to the Altenew team of what I want to make. And of course, Altenew is really generous with their codes during those live sessions, and they're really fast. So you always want to catch the live when it happens, or the following day with the replay. So again, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Have a good evening. And I will for sure see you next week. Have a good evening.